If you're seriously ill or critically injured up here, your life is in real danger.
Complaining of severe pain.
Mid-30s, been ejected from a vehicle.
Hospital's an hour away by road, and speed is the only thing that can save you.
Yeah, Roger, Helimed 99's en route, you over.
The Yorkshire Air Ambulance and its highly trained paramedics are scrambled 1,000 times a year.
Tell me exactly what's happened.
A small child has been on the path. A wagon's cut the corner and ran over it.
Many of its ex-military pilots flew the SAS into action.
That's not a suitable landing site. This one here is.
Welcome to the life and death world of the helicopter heroes. Today on Helicopter Heroes.
An 8-year-old fights for her life after being hit by a car.
The child isn't breathing, so obviously it sounds fairly grave.
Too steep to rescue.
You're on a hover D plane, mate, because they're not going to be able to part that.
The patient stuck down a ravine. Guess what happened next to this teenage rope swinger?
Do you know how you landed?
On my face.
On your face, OK.
And it's injury time for a female rugby league player.
Chloe, open your eyes.
Two girls came in from the side, tackled her and landed on top of her.
When someone's hurt, medics talk about the golden hour, the 60 vital minutes they have to get their patient to hospital care if they're to have the best chance of survival. But some cases are so critical, even that's not fast enough. Moving house is one of life's most traumatic experiences. Packing up your life in boxes is reckoned to be second only to divorce as the most stressful thing you can do, especially if it's to a new town. And today, one family's house move has ended in a terrible accident. Within minutes of arriving at a new home, a young girl has been hit by a car. Pilot Andy Lister is preparing Helimed 98 for a quick departure.
Lock and tight rear.
Lock to tight front. SAS.
Gauge 123 green.
Added.
Clear normal.
And engine control.
Paramedics Sammy Wills and Colin Jones know this is going to be a short flight. The accident is just 3 minutes away from the Sheffield Air Base.
Yeah, we're going to a busy road apparently in Westfield area of Sheffield. The news that we've got is that the person is not breathing, the child isn't breathing, so obviously it sounds fairly grave. So obviously we'll just do our best and get them in as quickly as possible to hospital, really.
Almost as soon as they're airborne, they're looking for the scene.
Have you seen something?
It's down here on the right.
Good spot.
I can't really, I'd like to land at that interchange, but I'm not going to be able to. There's cars, I wonder if I will get out that car
What about
park.
where that fire is in the other side of the trees?
It's a bit tight, that.
OK.
Their patient desperately needs them, but there's a problem. In the suburbs, open ground is in short supply.
What about the car park with the...
Yeah, but I'll have to fly over those two cars.
Cars,
So there's trouble in it.
The pressure's on for pilot Andy Lister.
No, I'm going to go up where that fire is. I'm going to go over the building and up over, and we'll just keep it high, and I'll land on where that fire
It might
is.
be quite dusty now.
But eventually, he spots a landing site.
See what we can get in there.
Ambulance is just about to pull up on scene.
Right,
Looks good my side.
bit of a slope. Check your clear tail behind, please.
I wouldn't go any further than that.
At last,
yeah,
they're down. Their patient is 8-year-old Jodie Mitchell. She only moved to Sheffield the morning of the accident.
Hello, little one. Now then, how are we? Can you talk to us? Can you talk to us yet?
She was crossing the road outside her new house to play in the field opposite when she was hit.
Did anyone see what happened?
No, I'm a children's nurse.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
There was two of them. One of them narrowly missed one car, but this car unfortunately couldn't get out of the way, and I think hit the child you see now lying on the road.
Jodie's erratic breathing is because her body is in trauma. She's trying to increase the amount of oxygen getting to her brain.
Have we got a reduced GCS there?
Yeah, definitely. Not responding.
All right, then, Jodie. Probably not, then.
Jodie.
The damage to the car that hit Jodie
could be a clue to her injuries.
How much damage is there? You couldn't have a look, could you, just to see how much damage there might be? That'd be brilliant, thank you.
Just saw her lying on the floor, and I was the one that dialed 999. They just told me what to do with her and told paramedics come, and that's what I did. Just stayed with her and made sure she was breathing and left her where she was.
Wrong leg. Okay. Head injury. Yeah.
While Colin treats Jodie as best he can, Sammy begins to get her ready for a flight to Sheffield Children's Hospital.
So do we have any relatives on scene?
It's the most horrifying thing I've seen, because I've got a daughter myself, and it's the most horrific thing I've ever seen. It's horrible to see a child hurt. It's not nice. So.
Jodie's mum Lorna was one of the first on the scene. She's in shock. Jodie is moving her left arm up involuntarily.
It's almost posturing, if anything.
It's called posturing. It's the brain's last attempt to get oxygen.
Right then, we're going to take her to Sheffield Children's, OK?
Jodie's mum thinks she's wanting to hold hands. The paramedics know otherwise. A massive head injury is causing her body to shut down. Jodie's best hope of survival is to get to hospital quickly.
Now let's catch up on the case of Jodie, the girl knocked down by a car on her first day at her new home on the outskirts of Sheffield.
Right then, we're going to take her to Sheffield.
8-year-old Jodie Mitchell's mother is clinging onto her daughter as she clings on to life.
Of course we will.
Right, we're going to check into the helicopter now. All right, it might be a bit noisy for you, but we'll look after you, OK?
The force of the impact on this car's bonnet is clear to see. Jodie has some shattered bones, but she is showing signs of a head injury that could yet prove fatal.
No, she's not cardiac arrest. We'll give you an update. Can we take Mum?
OK.
The trauma in her head is causing pressure to build at the base of her brain. Jodie's breathing is becoming more laboured. It will eventually stop unless the head injury is treated soon.
There we go.
Put your hands in for us, Jodie.
Jodie is completely unaware of her surroundings. Her mother is prepared for the flight. She is all too aware of her daughter's fight for life.
We're just putting some little monitoring things on there, all right? 80. 180.
This morning, Jodie was in a van moving house to Sheffield, a city that had an air ambulance located minutes from her new home and a specialist children's hospital minutes away by air. A city centre park is cleared by police and made secure for the helimed team to land.
She's posturing quite a bit actually. Yeah. Resps of 26 to 24 to 28. Heart rate varying really between 70 and 170 really, depending on what the breathing's like really. Yep.
The crew have rung ahead, preparing the paediatric team for Jodie's arrival.
She's quite a poorly child at the moment. She's not fully conscious and alert, and she's displaying certain things called posturing, which is a sign of quite a serious head injury really. So the best place for her is the hospital here, where they'll be able to do x-rays and scan her really, just to see exactly what's happened.
Jodie spends 2 weeks in the Sheffield Children's Hospital intensive care unit. She eventually regains consciousness, but she hasn't spoken. Her mother never leaves her bedside. Now she has been moved to a children's ward and the whole family can visit. They can talk to her, but Jodie doesn't talk back.
She hasn't spoken since the day of the accident, but they've said it's still too early to tell how much she's going to recover. It's just going to be a case of what the rehab team can do, what the physio team can do. But we're getting by hand squeezes and thumbs up, thumbs down, and she's got a little mood chart, so we kind of use that.
The consultant looking after Jodie knew she'd suffered serious brain injuries as soon as he looked at her scan.
When I saw the MRI brain scan, when I was talking to Jodie's parents, I did tell them that Jodie might have some motor problems or problems with walking. They were shocked that she couldn't speak, but what I did tell them that as the children started waking up, their understanding also start coming up very fast. So I was trying to tell them to and encourage them to speak to her as if they would speak to Jodie in any other ways.
Her family's speech therapy could be critical.
They've said it's still too early to tell how much she's going to recover. It's just going to be a case of what the rehab team can do, what the physio team can do. So.
Coming up, the hospital doctors mend Jodie's broken bones, but will she speak again?
She could wake up and basically not be the same child that we had before the accident.
Victim to sporting accidents there. Now let's return to South Yorkshire, where the family of Jodie, the girl knocked down outside her new home, are waiting by her bedside. Little Jodie Mitchell was fighting for her life when she arrived at Sheffield Children's Hospital 4 weeks ago, and her family have never left her bedside. Now she's on the road to recovery, despite a long list of serious injuries.
She had the head injury, broken humerus, bruised lungs, lacerated liver. She did something to her pelvis, I can't remember what they said she'd done, and a broken femur. They basically just said that it could go one of 3 ways. She could make a complete recovery and surprise everyone. She could wake up and basically not be the same child that we had before the accident, or the worst case, that she could pass away. So.
Doctors have told her mum Lorna that there's a chance her daughter may never speak again. But this family refuses to give up hope, and they're doing their best to coax her into a few words. Their dedication already seems to have worked miracles, to the surprise of doctors.
I must say they were more confident than me, that she keeping saying that she's a great fighter and she will make a full recovery. And they were right.
And 6 months after the accident, there's a visitor to the Air Ambulance base at Sheffield Airport.
Come on in. Come on, Jodie. Come right on in.
She's walking on something like that then. She's bionic. That's what we think. I bet you do, yeah.
Not only is Jodie back to being the family chatterbox, but she's back on her feet and determined to thank the paramedics who helped save her life.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Put one in.
You look all right. Oh, now I'm all right.
Sammy and Colin like to keep in touch with the hospital staff working on their patients. In this case, neither team expected Jodie to survive, at least not without brain damage.
Colin was attending, so he was looking after your poorly leg and your poorly head. Here you go.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Can I have the card there?
Look at that, eh?
Thank you so much. You're welcome. We met, you flew with us anyway, didn't you?
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Oh, more.
Why not? Can I
You
cry?
tell her.
Jodie's accident was an ordeal for the whole family. Her brothers and sisters saw it happen. But there's no sign of unpleasant memories today. They've got their sister back.
Do you remember us arriving? I bet you don't. I bet you don't know, because you were... I thought you were fast asleep. Yeah, because you were like that. That's where you were laying, Jodie, just on here, on this stretcher here, and your legs were down there.
It took the Mitchells a month to complete their move to Sheffield, thanks to the hospital visits. But now Jodie's settling into a new home and a new school.
The Mitchell family.
Yay! You're not Mitchell.
No.
And I'm pleased to say Jodie and her parents are now thoroughly settled in Sheffield, thanks to her new neighbours who rallied round after her accident.